Hello, and welcome to my mini course, Easy Breezy Beautiful Covers. And as you know, covers are an extremely important part of your TPT listing because they are often the very first thing that your buyer is going to see, and they are the thing that can stop that scroll. So as they're scrolling through that page, looking through resources, a beautiful cover that looks professional, clean, and is eye-catching is going to stop your buyer from scrolling and take a second look at your resource, which is exactly what you need them to do in order to click and actually learn about what your resource is. My goals with this mini course are to talk a little bit about the essential elements of a TPT cover, what you should have on them. But then my goal is to really show you how a certain kind of photography or a certain kind of photo can be extremely helpful in formatting your covers and making covers an easy process that isn't going to take a ton of reformatting and cropping and moving things around. Let's just talk a little bit about those essential elements that you should have on a TPT cover. Take a peek at this cover on the right-hand side and you'll notice that I have these things. First, you want to make sure that your titles are large. When buyers are scrolling on TPT, those covers are tiny. If they cannot see what the name of your product is, they're going to have a really hard time thinking that they want to click on it to know more because they might not even know what it is. Also, best practice is to have a square format for your cover. That is going to take up the most amount of space and give you the largest amount of real estate to show off your product. You want to make sure that your font is easy to read. I love script fonts, and some of them are easy to read. Others, as you know, are more difficult. Your cover is not the place for those super tricky to read script fonts because they're so small that you want your customers to be able to clearly read that title. Also, currently on TPT, you've probably noticed that many people are moving to product images or using mock-ups for their product covers. And that's because having a bright, eye-catching, and clean image is a wonderful way to show off your product. It looks modern, it looks crisp, it looks professional. You want to reduce that clutter. So notice on this cover, I have Halloween puzzles and I have the grade levels. I don't have a bunch of text telling how many pages in it or telling the skills that it's covering because my only job for the cover is to catch attention and get them to want to know more. Once they click on that, they're going to be able to read my description, see my thumbnails, see my preview. So my job on my cover isn't to share all of that information there. And if you add all of that on there, it's going to make your cover really hard to read as people are scrolling through and really hard to see everything that's on it in a quick amount of time. You do want to add your logo or your name somewhere on your cover. And I don't have my logo on this one because this is just a cover I made for this presentation. But you don't want it to be huge. You don't want it to take the buyer's eye away from your product. So putting it in a corner or in a place where it's discreet is best. And really, if you do all of these things, your goal is to be creating a product cover that's bright, it's eye-catching, it's clean, and it makes the buyer want to stop scrolling and take that second look. What we're going to do is I'm actually going to hop in now to an editable Canva template, and I am going to show you a little bit about what I do when I create covers. So here we are in Canva with a blank square template, and I'm going to show you my process of creating a cover and the type of image that I like to take when I'm photographing. I want to see if you can relate to this experience. I'm going to grab one of these images and drag it over onto my cover. Once my image is there, now I have to find a way to put the text and overlay anything that I want to create my cover. obviously this photo fits great, but when I go to add text, it's going to cover up some of the image. Obviously that doesn't look great. Right now my text is covering up an important part of the image. So what I would do next is try and reformat my image with the text. So maybe I'm going to grab it and put it down here. I'm going to make these smaller. Notice right here underneath racers, you can tell that this photo wasn't really meant to be a product cover. You can kind of see the papers being cut off at the top. Part of the image on the bottom is being cut off. So maybe I try this instead. Oh, but that doesn't look right. Now the top of my product is cut off. Maybe I leave it like this, okay? Now with this photo, this is a photo I took, so I am not noticing any discrepancy between the white background of my photo and the white background on here, but I'm sure you've experienced before. I'm gonna actually just make this a little darker to show you what I mean. I'm sure you have experienced adding a photo onto your cover and realizing that the whites don't quite match. They're not quite as white as your cover. So now you have to figure out how to edit your photo to get it to look the same white. And it starts to become just a long drawn out process. You're having to crop and arrange and edit your photos when all you want to do is be able to make a quick cover. So scratch everything I just showed you. And I want to show you a much easier way to create a cover. The type of photo that I like to use actually has purposeful white space left at the top. So when I drag this onto my cover, I don't have to worry about cutting off anything here at the top or on the bottom. This image was designed to be used as a cover. Notice I'm not having to recrop or format. I have space to add my title and I'm ready to rock and roll. So I'm actually going to copy this title up here, paste it, and look at that. Now I could, if maybe I want these a little closer together, I could do that. Maybe I want this centered. But look how easy that was for me to create a cover. Now I could go in and easily from Canva add my logo. I want to just make it discreet, so I'm going to put it small in the corner. By using an image that has that white space already built in and is already in that 1:1 or square format, you are going to save yourself so much time. Really, all I did was a couple quick steps. Let me show you just one more time. I take a photo. All I have to do is drop it into my template. I'm going to add my text and add my logo. Now maybe there's one other thing I wanted to add. Like maybe I want to move this over here and add an image with the grade levels or the skills. And I have a product cover that has a bright bold title that is not cluttered. It's not full of a bunch of extra information. When you look at it, you can easily see what this product is. It is focusing on multiplication, the 2's facts through the 9's facts. All I had to do was drop my photo in and go. So when I am taking photos, I'm going to actually take you into my studio now and show you just how to take a photo like this so that you can make TPT covers quickly, easily, and beautifully.